Here's a situation that comes up frequently, especially when you're working with people that are new to the work and are not familiar with the just the flow of inquiry in spoken form. So what can happen is, and this happens to all of us, it's just natural, human nature, is say your facilitator is very new to the work and he or she is just naturally starting to engage in conversation. So they might maybe be um, asking more general questions about things, or just kind of distracting, like moving the topic around, or maybe they're starting to analyze too much, like they're starting to say, like almost like, well, why is that and why is that, and getting into more of the why rather than just just going through the four questions like that. So any of that can happen, and it's, like I said, totally natural. If you are a new facilitator, then don't feel badly. This is what we all do normally. So we're learning a new thing here, which is inquiry, this kind of inquiry, the work of Byron Katie. And it's a very kind of set little interaction. So really, even though I may have been working with clients for years, in some ways we know each other really deeply, but on the other hand, I don't know stuff about their life or even a lot of other details, and that's totally fine. So when I'm doing the work with somebody and I'm the facilitator, I'm really just getting clear on what's their statement that they're working on, maybe what's their situation, very briefly, and then I just go into the questions. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react? And then who would you be without the thought? And then turnarounds, and then turnaround examples. And so that's what facilitating the work is. But if you're new to it, it may seem like that's too rigid. You're not used to kind of holding that little set finite number of questions, and holding that kind of um, yeah, that simple way of facilitating. And so if you're the client and somebody's facilitating you and they're kind of just not just holding the four questions but are doing a lot of other things, and it seems almost distracting a little bit to you, then the easy way to do it is just bring it up. It's not about making the person wrong or anything, but just bring it up and say, can you just ask me the next questions, and or the next question, and just keep reminding them that you're here simply to do this little process. And you can always chat, before or after you do it, or on a separate call if you really like each other. That's totally fine. But I encourage you to just keep this space really focused on just doing the work. Byron Katie often says, no crosstalk, no crosstalk. And what that means is uh, it's just doing the work, just the four questions, just the prompts the of the work, and then conversation can be saved for later. But sometimes it's a combination of conversation, or sometimes people are trying to be helpful. And when you're new to the work, you may think that's your job, but in reality, of course, it's not. We're just holding the space as a facilitator and letting the other person find whatever they can find in that process. So, of course, with time, all of us become more and more focused on just doing it in this simple way. But in the beginning or at any time, if your facilitator is, you find, just distracting a little bit from the process, then just invite them to come back to it, just like that. You can facilitate them to facilitate you in a way. And that way we all get what we came for, as well as it's a service to share that kind of feedback so that people get to know how the work works. So if that happens to you, just simply run with it and adjust. Like, say if you're getting into conversation, and somebody says, "Can you just ask the 4 questions?" It's nothing personal, but it's something that if you can follow it, it will just lead you deeper into the work. And I think that's the purpose here is we're wanting to go deeply into this process of inquiry. And so both the facilitator and the client can help keep things on track.